mega yacht Nord connected to Russian tycoon Alexey Mordashov has anchored in Hong Kong, as Western governments move to seize yachts connected to sanctioned Russian businessmen. The yacht, worth over $500 million, arrived in Hong Kong around a week ago after traveling from Vladivostok, Russia, its last port of call. One of Russia's richest men, Mordashov's wealth is estimated at $18 billion. He is the main shareholder and chairperson of Severstal, Russia's largest steel and mining company, and is believed to have close ties to President Vladimir Putin. He was sanctioned by the US, the United Kingdom and the European Union in February after Russia invaded Ukraine. Mordashov has since attempted to challenge the sanctions against him in European courts. Earlier in the year, US and European authorities seized more than a dozen superyachts belonging to sanctioned Russian billionaires, to prevent them from sailing to ports where the sanctions are not recognized or enforced. However, some of these individuals have managed to evade sanctions by docking their ships in places like Turkey, which has maintained diplomatic ties with Russia since the war began. They have also been heading to the United Arab Emirates. A Marine Department spokesperson was quoted in the South China Morning Post as saying Hong Kong is not obliged to enforce unilateral sanctions imposed by other jurisdictions. Nord is a motor yacht with a length of 141.6 meters. The yacht's builder is Larsen from Germany, who delivered superyacht Nord in 2021. The superyacht has a beam of 19.5 meters, a draft of 5 meter and a volume of 10,154 gross ton. It has 2 helipads, a swimming pool and 20 cabins. The yacht is currently sailing under a Russian flag. The Nord, previously named Opus, features exterior and interior design by Nuvolari Leonard, with naval architecture by Larsen Yachts. Up to 36 guests can be accommodated on board. The yacht has a steel hull and aluminium superstructure. She is powered by 4 MTU engines, which give her a cruising speed of 15 knots and a top speed of 20 knots. On the ranking of the largest yachts in the world, Nord Superyacht is listed as number 15th. She is the 8th largest yacht built by Larsen. Hong Kong's leader John Lee said he laughs off United States sanctions amid calls to seize the mega yacht, saying it does not enforce sanctions imposed by other countries. Legal experts warn that secondary action could be taken against Hong Kong companies that do business with the vessel. Hong Kong has no obligation to enforce Western sanctions against a superyacht linked to a Russian billionaire that has dropped anchor off the city, the government has said, although one legal expert warned ignoring them could invite fresh penalties against entities based in the financial hub. A Marine Department spokeswoman said penalties imposed by the United States, European Union and Britain on Alexey Mordashov over the country's invasion of Ukraine had no force in Hong Kong. She was speaking after the $3.9 billion Hong Kong dollars, $500 million US dollars, Russian-flagged Nord, believed to be owned by Mordashov, arrived in Hong Kong waters, which sparked warnings from lawyers about possible punitive action against city entities that did business with the vessel. Lee said Hong Kong is compliant with United Nations sanctions. But targeted measures from the likes of the US, the United Kingdom or the European Union, which each sanctioned Mordashov after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February, don't apply in Hong Kong, he said. We cannot do anything that has no legal basis, Lee told reporters. We will comply with United Nations sanctions, that is our system, that is our rule of law. Hong Kong's reputation in jeopardy, US says. Lee's comments come a day after the US State Department said that the possible use of Hong Kong as a safe haven by individuals evading sanctions from multiple jurisdictions further calls into question the transparency of the business environment. Lee himself is one of several Chinese officials who were sanctioned by the US in 2020 for their roles in cracking down on political freedoms in the city. When asked by journalists on Tuesday whether the sanctions mean he has to be paid in cash, as his predecessor Carrie Lam was, Lee dodged the question by once again calling the move barbaric. We will just laugh off the so-called sanctions, the Hong Kong chief executive added. A U.S. State Department spokesperson said in a statement Monday that the possible use of Hong Kong as a safe haven by individuals evading sanctions from multiple jurisdictions further calls into question the transparency of the business environment. The spokesperson also said that the city's reputation as a financial center depends on its adherence to international laws and standards, and that U.S. companies increasingly view Hong Kong's business environment with wariness because of an erosion of the city's once high degree of autonomy and freedoms. Beijing sets foreign policy for Hong Kong and has demurred from participating in sanctions against Russia for its attack on Ukraine. Britain handed control over its colony Hong Kong to China in 1997, promising to respect its semi-autonomous status as a separate economic and customs territory. The city's status as an international business hub and financial center has suffered in recent years, particularly after Beijing imposed a tough national security law on the city, aimed primarily at stamping out dissent following months of anti-government protests in 2019. Following passage of the law in 2020, the U.S. sanctioned Li, then Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam and other Hong Kong and mainland Chinese government officials for undermining Hong Kong. Thank you for watching our video on Megayacht Tube. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or comment and hit that like button. Don't forget to watch our other YouTube videos.